Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop? Like the same challenges just keep popping up again and again. Maybe it's recurring relationship dynamics or financial hurdles or just that weird sense of deja vu with certain life lessons. It's that feeling, isn't it? Wondering if your destiny is somehow predetermined, like you're just acting out a script someone else wrote. But what if that script isn't actually fixed? What if you hold the pen? What if you can actively shape your reality and shift those patterns for good? Today, on the deep dive, we're plunging into this really profound concept of karma. But maybe not in the way you usually hear about it. We're looking at it less like cosmic punishment and more like an intelligent, evolving curriculum that you can consciously engage with and actually transform. Our source for this, well, fascinating exploration is the 30-day Karmic Awareness Challenge from the Spiritual Seek. And our mission today is really to unpack this unique approach. It seems to blend ancient wisdom with some surprisingly modern scientific ideas to help you understand and maybe even actively create the life you truly want. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. When most of us hear karma, I think the immediate thought is often, a simple system of cosmic reward and punishment. Do good, do bad, get bad. It feels very external, almost judgmental sometimes. But this source, it suggests something far more intricate and frankly, much more empowering. It frames karma very differently.
It really does. What's quite insightful here is that the source defines karma not as punishment at all, but as, and I'm quoting here, the universe's most sophisticated curriculum for soul evolution. It emphasizes that it's fundamentally a neutral law, like cause and effect, almost like gravity. Every thought you have, every word you speak, every action you take, it all creates an energetic imprint. And that imprint eventually returns to its source, which is you. So it's more like a sophisticated feedback system, a mirror, rather than, some judge handing out sentences.
A curriculum. That's a very different lens. So
Yeah.
how do you navigate this curriculum according to the source?
Right. So to help navigate it, the challenge introduces 3 key types of karma. First, there's Sanchita karma. Think of this as your soul's huge accumulated reservoir of all karmas from all past lives. The good stuff, the unresolved lessons, everything. It's like this massive cosmic hard drive, this immense storehouse of unmanifested actions and experiences just, waiting in the wings.
Okay, so that's the total backlog, so to speak. What's next?
Then there's Prarabdha karma. Now, this is the specific portion of that vast Sanchita karma that's ripe for experience in your current lifetime. This dictates the major themes, the challenges, the key relationships, the opportunities you're sort of destined to encounter this time around. Now, its manifestation might be set, yes, the themes are there, but, and this is crucial, your conscious response to these experiences determines the new karma you create. You might not avoid the lesson itself, but you absolutely choose how you engage with it. And that choice shapes everything going forward.
Okay. So the situation might arise, but how you react is where the power lies. Makes sense. And the third type?
The third type is agami karma. This is the new karma you are actively creating right now in the present moment, through your thoughts, your words, your actions, whether you're conscious of them or not. This is really the realm where your free will is most potent. And this challenge, it really focuses on making your agami karma conscious, making it aligned with your highest intentions, because that's where you actively sow the seeds for your future experiences and, proactively start reshaping your destiny.
So if I'm getting this right, it's not about being stuck with some pre-written fate from Prarabdha karma. It's more about understanding those themes and then consciously using agami karma, your present actions, to respond in a way that actually shifts the trajectory.
Exactly. That's the core idea. It's about agency within a larger framework.
That's a really powerful distinction. And this source also mentions the Akashic records in relation to all this, which sounds pretty intriguing. How does that fit in?
Right, the Akashic records. To connect it to the bigger picture, the source describes them as an energetic library or maybe a universal database. It's not a physical place, obviously, but a vibrational field. It's said to contain the energetic imprints of every thought, word, and action that has ever happened across all time, all dimensions. So it essentially serves as the ultimate storehouse for that Sanchita karma we talked about. It's like the cosmic memory of your soul's entire journey. When you're working with these karmic types, you're essentially interacting, on some level, with the information stored in this vast energetic field.
Wow. Okay. Now here's where it gets really interesting for me. This challenge isn't just theory or, explaining ancient concepts. It's structured as what it calls a modern-day mystery school, and it uses a threefold alchemical process to actively transform karma. moving from just understanding it to actually doing something about it.
Precisely. And that process isn't just about intellectual understanding, like you said. It's designed for deep, energetic, and psychological transformation. The first phase, which is week 1, is called the Great Unseeing, and it focuses on deconstruction. The core idea here is that old illusions, outdated beliefs, unconscious patterns, they have to shatter before new, more aligned patterns can form. Makes sense?
Yeah, clearing the slate first.
Exactly. So you learn to decipher life's recurring motifs, those loops we mentioned earlier, seeing them as encrypted soul lessons. This often involves exposing ancestral imprints that might be buried deep in your psyche. A cornerstone practice here is developing what they call witness consciousness. It's essentially an observer state. You learn to watch your thoughts, your emotions, your actions without judgment, without getting attached. This conscious observation, it helps dissolve karma's grip because you stop re-identifying with those old patterns. It creates space.
Okay, so week 1 is about identifying and detaching from that old script, not just playing it out again. How does it build from there? What happens in week 2?
Well, once you've started to unseat those old patterns, week 2 is called the crucible of transformation. This is about transmutation. It goes deeper than just awareness. It includes practices like soul contract archaeology. This is about trying to unearth what are described as pre-birth agreements your soul might have made with key people in your life. This can offer a really profound reframing for challenging relationships, helping you maybe understand their deeper purpose for your growth.
That sounds intense, looking at relationships that way.
It can be, definitely. Then there's something called energetic metallurgy. The idea here is learning to forge dissolved trauma into soul strength. Think of it like an alchemist purifying raw metal, taking the raw material of past pain and refining it into something strong, useful, empowering for your future. It's about transmuting burdens into actual personal power.
Okay, so deconstruction, then transmutation.
Yeah.
What's the final stage?
The final stage, covering weeks 3 and 4, is the living blueprint. This is all about embodiment. It's the transition from being a student of this process to becoming a master of your own reality. Here, you engage in things like neuro-linguistic reprogramming, or NLP, to consciously rewrite subconscious vows or limiting beliefs that might be holding you back, literally changing the internal language of your mind. You also learn morphic field tuning. The idea is to align your personal energetic signature with the timelines you desire. It's like consciously tuning your internal radio dial to pick up the frequency of the future you want, rather than staying stuck on the static of old patterns.
Tuning your frequency.
Yeah, and another really profound practice mentioned is future self-integration. This involves consciously drawing wisdom and qualities from your future, more evolved self, pulling that higher version of you into your present reality now.
That's quite a journey, from unraveling the past to actively sculpting the future. But, for listeners who might be thinking this all sounds very mystical, maybe a bit out there, the source claims to bridge the mystical and measurable. It talks about scientific connections. How does it actually ground these profound concepts in something, well, more tangible than just belief?
That's a really crucial point, and the source does address it. It attempts to support its claims by connecting these spiritual insights to established or sometimes emerging scientific principles. For instance, it mentions biophoton research. This field studies the tiny light emissions from our cells. The source cites research suggesting these emissions can change based on our thoughts and emotions. So the implication is a direct measurable link between our inner state and our energetic signature, which is a core concept in karmic creation and healing.
Okay, so changes in our energy field might actually be detectable.
That's the idea presented. Then there's psychoneuroimmunology, or PNI. This is a well-established field. It validates how our thought patterns profoundly alter our biology, our immune system. This provides a solid scientific basis for the mind-body connection that's so central to healing, showing how our internal state literally affects our physical reality and, by extension, our karmic experiences. And it even touches on torsion field physics. This is more of an emerging area, but it's presented as potentially explaining how intention itself might literally shape reality, which of course directly underpins the whole idea of conscious creation and manifestation that runs through the challenge.
So the source isn't necessarily saying this is proven science for everything, but it's suggesting there are, let's say, plausible mechanisms or related scientific fields that support these spiritual processes, offering a framework for how it might work.
Exactly. It's offering a bridge, a framework. It provides a unique way to understand how this kind of deep inner work could have tangible, maybe even observable effects on our lives and the world. And connecting to that, the source also mentions that we're potentially at a planetary inflection point right now.
What does that mean?
Well, the idea presented is that collective karma is accelerating its clearing process globally. And because of that, embodied wisdom keepers, people who've done this inner work, are urgently needed to help navigate this transition and assist in this collective shift. The implication is that your individual karmic work isn't just personal, it contributes to a larger global evolution.
That is another layer entirely.
Yeah.
Which brings us neatly to the practical application.
Right.
Let's dive into some of the specific daily practices from the challenge. Because as you said, it's about moving from just understanding these big ideas to actually doing something and experiencing the transformation day to day. What does that look like?
Absolutely. The daily practices are where the rubber meets the road, where the alchemy really happens. A great example is right near the start, day 2, recognizing karmic loops. This practice emphasizes that those recurring patterns you notice, like attracting the same kind of difficult boss or facing similar money issues again and again, they aren't just random bad luck. The source describes them as deeply ingrained neural pathways. Basically, patterns designed to bring an unconscious issue up to your conscious attention so it can finally be resolved.
So the loop is actually trying to teach you something.
Precisely. The practice helps you identify these loops, acknowledge them without judgment, and then consciously choose different responses. And by doing that, the source suggests you are literally physically rewiring your brain through neuroplasticity, forging new pathways instead of automatically walking down the old worn ones.
Physically rewiring. That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Well, another really potent one is day 5, gratitude as a karmic solvent. This highlights gratitude not just as a nice feeling, but as one of the highest vibrational frequencies available to us. It's presented as having this almost alchemical power to dissolve negative karmic residue and attract more high vibrational experiences into your life, aligning you with positive, expansive states.
So gratitude isn't just polite, it's energetically functional here.
Exactly. And the deeper dive section for that day goes into the science of gratitude. It details how practicing gratitude actually rewires your brain, boosts those feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, and reduces the stress hormone cortisol. This creates a direct bioenergetic shift that profoundly impacts your state and therefore your karmic creation. It changes your internal frequency, basically.
Okay, makes sense. You mentioned challenging relationships earlier.
Yeah.
How does the challenge address those specifically?
Yeah, that comes up around day 13. Understanding soul contracts. This offers a really, sometimes surprising insight. It suggests that the most challenging people in our lives might often be soul contract teachers, that perhaps on a soul level we made pre-incarnation agreements with them for mutual growth. Now, reframing it this way can shift you out of feeling like a victim and help you see a deeper purpose. But, and this is really important, the Karmic Insight section explicitly clarifies soul contracts versus boundaries.
Ah, good clarification.
Yes. It stresses that understanding a potential soul contract does not mean you should endure abuse or mistreatment. Not at all. In fact, the lesson of the contract might be precisely about learning to set firm, loving boundaries for your own well-being and growth. It's about empowering yourself within the dynamic, not excusing bad behavior.
That's a vital distinction. Okay, any other daily practices that stand out?
Definitely. Consider day 17, the sacred pause. Choosing timelines. This practice builds on that famous Viktor Frankl quote. Between stimulus and response, there is a space.
In that space is our power to choose our response.
Yeah, I know that one.
Right. The challenge explains this space as a kind of quantum field, a moment of potential where you can consciously choose not to react in the old, habitual, karmic repeat way.
Oh.
In that pause, you can collapse a karmic repeat timeline, as the source puts it, and intentionally choose a new, higher vibrational response instead. It's like standing at a fork in the road. Instead of automatically taking the familiar, maybe painful path, you pause and intentionally choose a new direction. You're literally bending your future reality in that moment of conscious choice.
Wow. Using that tiny pause to shift entire timelines. And one more. Let's touch on day 20, aligning with Dharma. Dharma is defined here as your unique soul purpose. It's that sweet spot where your gifts, your passions, and what the world needs all intersect. Creating karma while acting in alignment with your dharma is presented as the most joyful and fulfilling path because you're being true to your deepest essence. The source also introduces the Japanese concept of ikigai, which means a reason for being, as a beautiful parallel idea. Finding your ikigai, your dharma, is shown as a profound act of karmic alignment that naturally brings deep fulfillment and positive karmic returns.
So putting all these pieces together, the deconstruction, the transformation, the daily practices,
Oh, what
what
I
does
say?
this entire 30-day journey ultimately build towards? What kind of transformation is the challenge really aiming for? It sounds like more than just breaking a few bad habits.
Oh, it's profoundly more than that. The ultimate aim is described as a kind of graduation, moving from being a student of karma, sort of subject to its effects, to becoming a conscious, co-creative alchemist of your reality. It's a fundamental shift in identity and agency, stepping fully into your power as a creator, not just a reactor.
A co-creative alchemist, I hear.
Yeah. And the concept of your living legacy, which comes up on day 22, ties right into this. It emphasizes that your legacy isn't just something you leave behind at the end of your life. It's the energetic imprint you're leaving in the Akashic records with every single interaction, every single day, right now. It really highlights your immense power to consciously shape this ongoing legacy through your daily choices and intentions.
Makes you think about every interaction differently.
Absolutely. And a powerful practice suggested for accelerating this transformation is seva, which means selfless service, highlighted on day 23. The source actually states that seva is potentially the fastest way to resolve personal karma. The idea is, when you act for the benefit of others without expecting anything back, you contribute positively to what it calls the collective karmic bank account. You create positive ripples for humanity, and simultaneously, this act of selfless giving elevates your own vibration, helping to dissolve personal karmic debts or patterns more quickly.
So helping others helps you clear your own slate, essentially.
In a way, yes, it creates positive agami karma that can balance out past patterns, and the whole challenge culminates really on day 30 with this envisioned profound shift in identity. The goal is to step forward not feeling like a victim of circumstance or past karma, but as a sovereign individual, someone consciously able to sculpt their destiny using love, wisdom, and intention. It's about truly embodying this newfound power and living from a place of conscious creation in every single moment.
Wow. This deep dive really does reframe karma, doesn't it? It takes it from this idea of a fixed, maybe even punitive destiny and transforms it into an intelligent, dynamic feedback system. And the core message seems to be that by understanding its principles, by consciously engaging with them through practices like these, you genuinely have immense power to reshape your experience and, well, become the architect of your own destiny.
It absolutely does. Which I think leads to a really important closing thought, or maybe a question for everyone listening. If it's true that every thought, every word, every action creates an energetic ripple, and if you are, in a sense, literally pulling your desired future into your present through your focus and intention, then what kind of reality are you consciously choosing to co-create right now with this very moment?
That is definitely a powerful thought to reflect on. Thank you for joining us on the deep dive.